boy stopped being lazy, yeah, and I became creative, and I learned how to create it, and now that pride's for me, so come see, oh come eat.
Welcome to the Silver Lining QuickSilver reaction to the game. The Falcons just lost 17-13 at home to the Chargers. I am your host, Sterling Tide Boss. And this is my co-host, Darkness. Darkness descends upon us today. What's up with you, Cam? How was it? Wait. Before we start devoting into this, because I'm not going to lie to y'all. I know y'all mad. We mad. We about to really get into this shit. But I haven't spoken to Cam since Thanksgiving. How was your Thanksgiving, Cam?
I'm glad you brought that up. First of all, I like to say I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Got to spend time with your family. Got to spend time with your friends. Got to unwind a little bit from work and really start to enjoy these holiday spirits.
For sure. Love to hear that.
But yeah, you
merely
adopted the darkness. I was born in it, molded by it. I haven't seen the light till I was a man, and by then it was blinding. But I've never seen the light. I'm a Falcons fan. I've never seen the light.
Yeah, you like what?
I don't even know what the light is, man. All I know is darkness. And the worst part is, I'm slowly starting to get to a point of apathy. And that's saying something. I've been a fan my whole life. I'm 31 years old. I became a Falcons fan when I was 6. Right when Vic got drafted. This has been my entire life. It's gotten to the point where the losses no longer hurt. Like I'm getting to, I don't care anymore. I'm not letting it ruin my day. It's not ruining my week. That's not a good sign as a fan. I love these dudes, but like I'm slowly starting to just not give a fuck about them. And it's not from a lack of effort. It's not from a lack of effort. I can't really say this on the players because let's keep it a whole stat. I don't know if you watched the game I watched. That was the best defensive performance our team has put forth this entire
year. I could put it on one player.
Jimmy Lake was coaching for his job, and I loved it. That man was coaching for his job. We gave up 10 points. 10 points. What? I'm tripping.
Try 9.
We lost 20-13, right?
17-13. We gave up 9 points.
Yeah, our defense gave up 9 points. 9 points in that entire game. We had 5 sacks. 5 sacks. We beat the brakes off them boys. And then Kirk said, "You want to see something crazy? You want to see me throw an interception? You want to see me do it again?" And he threw 4. Bro, and then fumbled the ball.
You trying to get me hyped up? What's going on here, man? Because you know I'm like getting steaming hot over here, ready to jump in and go ahead. I don't know why I got this blue backdrop and this thing going on here.
Hey, it's perfect, baby. That's that Charger blue. We deserve it.
Boy, chill the fuck out, boy. I'll take this shirt off and throw this shit in the trash right now. This ain't even yellow. This is orange. It's close. It's too close. Chargers wasn't that fucking good today.
Drake dropped that last pass at the end. They got punched out a little bit. He should have had it.
Drake did drop.
He had a fantastic game, and I'll be damned if I put the loss on him. This loss is 100% on Kirk. Fans, let me be the first to tell you. It's Sunday. If you're still eating your Thanksgiving food, you're nasty. Throw your Thanksgiving food.
I'm nasty then.
Just like Kirk Cousins.
Never mind. I ain't that nasty. Sorry.
Throw your Thanksgiving food in the trash. Throw Kirk Cousins in the trash because they got to go out. It's stinking up the house. It's stinking in here. Stank. Please. All you, my boy.
Oh, you know, I was about to ask. I was about to say, is it my turn? Is it my turn? Let me at him. Let me at him, boss. Let me at him. Let the dog off the chain, bro. Because, bro, look here. So where to fucking start? Where to start, right? So I'm pissed with Kirk, right? Kirk threw 4 picks today. Each and every last one of those picks were inexcusable. But it was more than just the picks. This was by far off an initial eye test, this was by far the worst game he's played this year. It was worse than the game he had against the Steelers. It was worse than the game he had against the Seahawks. It was worse than the game he had against Denver, worse than the game he had against the Saints. This game was the absolute worst game he played. In fact, it was so bad, it gave shades of Desmond Ridder and Marcus Mariota. Right? In fact, actually, it was worse because I don't think Desmond Ridder ever threw 4 picks in one game.
He didn't. Neither did
In fact,
Mariota.
as much of a turnover machine as he was, I don't think he ever had 4 turnovers in one game. Right? And sometimes you can excuse turnovers. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they're trying to make plays, whatever. But each and every last one of Kirk's picks, to me, were extremely inexcusable. Some of his accuracy was not the best. There were several plays throughout this game, chiefly that went to Drake London and Kyle Pitts, where either his ball location was bad. Yeah, ball. Yeah. That on that first drive, that deep dig that Darnell Mooney threw that he had to slide to the ground to get, and then the ball touched the ground, and so he didn't get it. That was a bad throw. That deep throw, the Ray McLeod, the long catch and run. Before that, he attempted a deep pass to Drake London. Drake had his man beat. Drake was open. He missed him. That's what happened. He missed him. And there were several plays like that, literally throughout the game. Like there's people. I'm scrolling through Reddit or whatever. During the game, whatever, just filling the commercial time, and people just Pitts. They just put a post Pitts. What the fuck? This ain't on Pitts. In fact, those throws that you think that was Pitts' fault, that was Kirk's fault. All right? Kirk had zero business throwing that pass where Kyle had the deep dig, and then there was the linebacker that ran into him, and people were like, "Oh, pass interference." That play before the ball was out, I knew it was zone coverage. I'm watching on TV. I'm like, zone, do not throw the ball to Pitts. In fact, I actually throw to Drake on the corner. Who the fuck you think he throw the ball to? He throw the ball to Pitts, and he leads Pitts. He leading Pitts in the coverage. In fact, the throw in the end zone that was supposed to go to Pitts, but it didn't. Pitts ended up not catching it, and they was like, "Oh, Pitts stopped on the route and shit." You know what else he said? Hey, Pitts was trying to read the coverage for the quarterback because guess what? It was zone. When it's zone, you don't keep throwing the ball and running your receiver into coverage. The tight end is supposed to stop his route where there's an open hole in the zone.
Pad and Travis do it all the time.
Yeah, Kirk led multiple receivers into coverage on his throws, right? He was so obvious on a lot of those picks where he's staring the receivers down.
Amen, brother.
Right? What is the point of having a veteran quarterback if he's going to stare receivers down while the other team is playing zone? What is the point of having a veteran if his ball location on these open throws is going to be so off that it causes incompletions? What is the point? You know what I'm saying? And then these things are made worse. We saw Russell Wilson today. Russell Wilson went off. Russell Wilson basically playing for free for the Steelers. Now, will Russell Wilson be doing the same thing as he's doing here? Probably not. Part of the benefit of having a quarterback that's playing for free for you is that it allows you to keep your team intact. That's how they're able to feel that defense they feel. You know what I'm saying? That's how they're able to put together that O-line they put together because they don't have to pay their quarterback. And it's all fun and games for the Steelers now. Won't be so fun next year when they have to pay Russell. But I ain't worried about next year. Next year, it ain't even 2025 yet. I'll worry about next year when next season come around. I'll worry about next season when next year come around. We ain't worried about that. We worry about what we got in Atlanta, what we got with Kirk, right? Like I said, by far. And I'm a little appalled because one of the things we took for granted as fans that we just assumed was gonna happen was that, all right, he's gonna come back from injury, he's in a new system, it's gonna take us some time. You don't expect in the 12th game of the year, the 13th week of the season, the game after a bye, for him to be the guy who was costing us the games, like single-handedly. Right? What was the big time throw he had this game? Did you see any throws this game that you was like, that's a big time throw? That's a throw that you gotta have a guy like Kirk Cousins for. The Ray McCloud catch and run, that was really a bad pass. But thankfully it got there to Ray first, and so he was able to make a play after the catch.
He converted a couple of fourth down throws.
He did. And
they were bad throws. If we keep it honest, they were bad throws. The receivers just made a play.
Receivers made a play.
That Darnell Mooney catch. That was a bad throw. Darnell Mooney had to grab that bad boy off the ground and scoop that thing up. That was a bad throw.
And exactly. And I'm like, look.
And the worst part is, defense played well. Special teams played well. 2 out of the 3 phases in this game we won. Hell, I have been shitting on Jimmy Lake all year long. And this is the first game I can legit say, good job, Jimmy.
And they did everything. Jimmy. Look.
Good job. What I love
about having a podcast? You can go back and check the goddamn receipts. We talked about what the Falcons needed to do to win this game. Right? I said, hey, this is what I said. This is what I said about the Chargers now. I said, hey, they do not have great receivers. If we play man and press man against them and make them beat us with the receivers specifically, stop the run, make them beat us with receivers, they can be had, right? We loaded up on defense. We stopped the run, right? And we said, hey, y'all going to have to beat us with the receivers. And in the first half, to Ladd McConkey's credit, he took the assignment, and he did very well. He caught for 100 yards in the first half. Did not do shit in the second half. The Chargers didn't score. The Chargers' offense was blanked. They were blanked in the second half. The Chargers did not score in the second half. And you know what they did? They said, hey, we see that we getting killed by Ladd McConkey. We taking McConkey out the game. Joshua Palmer beat us. Quentin Johnston beat us. Will Dissly beat us. Tucker Fisk beat us. And they couldn't. They could not, because we knew that if we took that run game out of the equation, that we could go ahead and still get that. Zach Robinson didn't have a perfect game. Both of those wide receiver jet sweeps on
terrible
short,
plays.
Absolutely unacceptable. Look, let me tell you why I'm against that kind of play. Right now, that's the kind of play that it can be successful, right? The reason why I'm against it is because when a receiver or when a player is in motion on a 3rd and short, there's 2 immediate thoughts by the defense. Either that guy's in motion because he's going to be he's going to be a lead blocker, or he's getting the ball. And in both instances, the defense thinks is going outside. Let me tell you what would have been a great play, right? You run that same play design with the jet sweep, but instead of running it outside, you run it up the middle. See, what that does is you get that receiver coming across, he flash, and then you snap the ball, and then you even if you fake a handoff to the receiver, you fake a handoff and then hand it to the running back. That fake handoff draws the defense out. And then when you hand it to the running back and he goes up the middle, the defense isn't prepared because they think it's going outside. They think it's either going outside because he's a blocker, or they think it's going outside because he's getting the ball. We ran the ball with the actual receiver both of those times. But aside from those plays, for the most part, Zach was committed to the run. I think Bijan averaged less than 5 yards a carry. He might have averaged less than 4 yards a carry. He was committed to the run. You know, the carry average, you know, average is kind of skewed because Bijan had a good game, but then he'll have some runs that he loses yardage on. So then, it looks worse than it is. So him having like less than 4 yards a carry, it's like a big whoop. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I don't know what his running back success rate was, but you know, I'm sure it was on the positive side because he got mostly positive runs on most of his plays, right? Except for the plays where he lost yardage on. The protection was shaky, but it was more than good enough, right? I think when I think about Kirk, one of the things that frustrated me. So I picked the Falcons to lose this game. I said we were going to lose 23 to 17. We lost 17-13. So we actually had a much better defensive performance than I was prepared for. But we had a worse offensive performance than I thought we would have. And I thought that we would have some struggles on offense. But in typical Falcon fashion, right? These are things you predict. The Falcons found a way to do it in a way you didn't predict. You didn't think that your 12-year veteran fucking quarterback would be third and goal from like the 12 or whatever, or 15, I think maybe. Maybe it was 12, 15, or something like that. You didn't think he'd escape pressure and try to loft the pass. I'm like, Kurt, like, let me look. We got the goddamn receipts on the phone. All right. When I saw that play, I said to myself, as soon as it left his hands, and I saw that it was a floater instead of just a throw that thing out the back of the end zone, I said, oh my God, this motherfucker Kirk got to throw a pick, and he threw a pick. The defense didn't give up enough points for us to lose this game. If Kirk doesn't throw that pick six, we win in this game.
Yeah, because
Right?
we were damn near in field goal range. This was setting up for a cool game winner.
The only thing that I can put in my head, because that to me, that third one was the most egregious one. The fourth one, it's a bad pick, but you got to get the fourth down. Drake London did drop the ball on the play before. I do have to acknowledge that was a huge drop. It hit Drake in both hands. It should have been caught. It helped cost us this game, but the game should have been in tow before then. Now, and you got to understand, this is big for me to say, because I don't live in the world where I think that my team is supposed to make all of the plays, right? When people see a game that's close, they say, oh, this game should have been over. Da, 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 da. I'm like, hey, man, look, the other guys get paid too. They're human. Guys make mistakes. The problem for me comes when you make multiple mistakes that cost you the game, right?
The same mistake multiple times.
Multiple times. And then for them to come from the same people, both of those jet sweeps, unacceptable by Zach Robinson, especially the second one, especially when they really hadn't stonewalled you running up the middle, right?
Yeah,
and then
on
like
on a third and one, we have not one point in that game where we stuck on like a third and one.
We weren't stuck.
Really? We could have gotten 1 yard.
Any downhill run? I don't think we had a single downhill run. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. Let me do some big brain thinking. You know what? Let me do a jet sweep. That's some shit Arthur Smith would do last year. Overthinking the situation, bro. That was some rookie play calling type shit. It was terrible, bro.
But he is a rookie play caller, though.
It is, and he is. So I can't be too mad at him. And if I'm being honest, if I'm looking at Zach's entire body of work this year, I'd give it about a B. It's not bad. It hasn't been bad. It hasn't been great. Hell, C plus.
What would you grade him this game? And grade Zach, not the output.
The jet sweeps were terrible calls. Both times.
They were horrible.
They were terrible. I'd give them the game plan was solid. So I'd give it a B minus.
Okay. Yeah, I was about to say I'm giving them B, somewhere between a C plus and a B minus. But it's hard. I feel like it's almost hard to grade him because of how many inexcusable turnovers Kirk had. Like when I say inexcusable, the first one with the double clutch, look, like, all right, so I'm not a quarterback. I can't sit here and pretend to know what Kirk is going through when the bullets are flying, right? But as a person who's been a fan of football, like, what am I? I'm 33. As a person who's been a fan of football at this point, in some way, shape, or form for 25 years, and a person who's been a more in-depth fan as far as how football is supposed to look and how it's supposed to work for almost 20 years or so, I have a mental clock in my head on how these things are supposed to go, right? When it passes that point in my mental clock where I say, yo, the ball need to be out, I start feeling nervous about the outcome of the play, right? Now, when Kirk double clutches that ball, I'm like, the clock has already gone off,
Oh,
right?
as soon as I saw the double clutch, I was like, interception.
I'm not feeling good when that happens. Like, I think that's why I felt so bad about that third pick and why it feels so inexcusable to me. Because I'm like, hey, look, when the play is on schedule and then things start going off schedule and you running up the middle, at that point, you either take the yardage running or you throw that ball out the back of the end zone. You don't softly lob it up. Because look, DBs can't catch. Most DBs can't catch. So even if he threw a hard pass, try to catch his guy, maybe maybe a DB does get a hands on it, but it go out of the end zone or whatever. But when you throw that soft lob up, I'm like, DBs can catch that. The DB was thanking God he was praying on Thanksgiving for a throw like that. Because he like, oh, thank God. My inability to catch ain't being tested here. It's just going to softly, gently land into my lap. Right? The pick six really cost us the game. Like, I think, let me tell you something, right? So I picked the Falcons to lose. I shouldn't be upset. I said we were going to be 6-6. I said that, right? But I also said for us to make the playoffs, we had to win one of our 3 tough games. This game was not only winnable, it was going according to script for the most part. Right? We got a turnover on their first drive, even though Koo missed that field goal, and we was like, oh shit, we thought we was past this. You know what I'm saying? Koo missed that field goal, but for Koo, I wanted to give him shit about that field goal, but we cannot forget he was dealing with a right hip injury. Now, in case you all don't know, Koo is a right-footed kicker. That is alarming, and he was hurt bad enough that the team brought in another kicker. We brought in Riley Patterson, I believe was his name, as to potentially have to fill in for Koo if Koo is hurt. So I'm like, oh, okay, he's not like just chilling and we gonna rest him and then play him. No, he hurt bad enough that the team is concerned enough to move the roster around to accommodate a kicker, right? So Koo misses. And look, we'll be real. It was an easy kick. It was not a hard kick. So he missed an easy kick. But we after that miss on a good drive too, and that's the other part that burns too. When you're facing a really good scoring defense, when you miss it, when you come up on a good drive like that and come up empty-handed, it's like how many more opportunities are we gonna have like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the kicker, the difference between why I'm gonna be more upset when Kirk throws 4 picks as opposed to when Koo misses 3 field goals. And look, y'all, anybody who's watching this, if you watched our reaction to the loss against the Saints, you know that I was very down on Koo. I jumped on Koo because I said, hey, he missed 2 and he had 1 blocked, and it's 1-4. We should have won that game. Yada yada yada. Kickers are football players. Contrary to popular belief, I know some people think that he just kicks the ball. He's not a football player. If what he did wasn't important, if what he did was so easy, they just wouldn't sign a kicker. They'd have a receiver kick in place of him. They'd have a D lineman kick in place of him. Whoever can kick, they say, hey, you kick in place of a kicker so that we can roster someone else. But what a kicker does is important in football, and what a kicker does is something that a specialist does that everybody can't do. So that's why he does it. But the reason why I'm gonna be more on Kirk than the kicker is because the kicker basically has to be cold the whole game and then go out there and hit big kicks. The quarterback often makes his situations worse or better based on his decision making, right? The 4th pick he had, you got to make a throw because it's 4th down and the game's on the line. I won't jump on Kirk too much for that, even though I think it was an egregious pick. I won't jump on him. You got to make a play, right? That 3rd pick, unacceptable. That's a bad decision by a guy who is 36 years old. Unacceptable. The 1st pick, the double clutch to throw back to a guy when they play in zone. And look, I don't know how well everybody here knows football, but the problem when you see a double clutch and then he throw it against zone is that let me ask Cam. I know you're more of a Falcons fan than a football fan necessarily, but I want to see what you know.
Okay.
Who when the defense is playing zone, who is the defense's eyes on?
I want to say the quarterback.
Absolutely. See how you
When
kind
you
of
play
like
man,
you thought about it for a couple seconds. You like seems like if you playing zone, everybody looking at the quarterback, right?
yeah.
That's what makes it egregious. When they're playing man, they're looking at their man. When they're playing zone, they're playing an area so that they can look at you, right? So when you double clutch and look, I know I'm being ridiculous. I know there's no way in that live action he gonna think to himself, "Oh, duh, they playing zone. I totally shouldn't throw the ball to the guy because now they're looking at me. They saw me about to throw it to him, so they're gonna be ready." But ultimately, it led to a pick. You know what I'm saying? And I think I get frustrated because when I look at these situations, I say to myself, oh shit. I hit react button when I was just trying to put the react thing away. But I'm trying. I got a little slider up on the side. It's not even showing up on the recording. It's just showing up. Anywho, so I think the thing that frustrates me with that situation is that I looked at it and there's situations where I'm like it's not registered in the way it registers in my head that it registers to Kirk, right? So there was a third down we had where Kirk got blitzed. We in the red zone, Kirk gets blitzed. This was on the I think Koo hit the field goal. So this was like Koo's Koo made 2 field goals today, didn't
He did.
he? Okay, good for Koo because that first miss had me. But
Right? And he
yo,
came back with it. He came back.
he did. So I think it was the first one he made, the first kick he made. They blitz Kirk, and Kirk, his mental clock is not there. I think that's the biggest issue I'm having with Kirk right now, that his mental clock is off, right? So I'm seeing that play, and I'm like, they are blitzing for real. This is not a fake. They are blitzing, and you need to get that ball out in 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Not now. I know. Dropbacks go to 3 Mississippi. This was not one of them 3 Mississippi plays. You know, if it's a 3-step dropback, it's usually a 3 Mississippi. But this is not a 3 Mississippi play, right? I'm like, you need to be getting that ball out. The clock went off in my head. He still had the ball, but he threw it and it was incomplete. And then when they showed it again, I'm like, Kirk, the guy you threw the ball to had 3 white jerseys around him. And you weren't throwing the Megatron. Hey. Julio Jones ain't walking through that door.
Yeah.
All right. Number 11 will never say Jones on the back with Julio in front of the name. Maybe it'll say Jones on the back. It won't be Julio Jones. You know what I'm saying? That's a guy, all right, 3 guys on him. I don't give a fuck. I'm throwing it to Julio. It's Julio. That ain't who you throwing to. Megatron, you ain't seeing number 84, 81.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing? I think that was the play that I started turning on Kirk a little bit this game. Because I'm looking, it's one thing to have mistakes, but when I see that, the biggest thing a quarterback does, even more than how fast he throw the ball, how mobile he is, all of that, make the right decisions. All right. And he did not. Kirk had the absolute, after a bye, 12 games into the year, he had the worst game he has had as a Falcon.
And is what you said after a bye. I can't even really blame like Raheem for this because the team as a whole, the team as a collective unit played well. We were able to move the ball. Our defense had the best game of the year. Our special teams did what special teams needed to do. They stood, hey, stay ready. You don't have to get ready. Our special team stays ready. How many times has a team tried to pull a fake on us and it has not? At least 3 times this year. It's
At
happened at least,
minimum.
I want to say 4. I want to say
I
there's been
think it was 4. I
4.
think 2 times happened in one game. I could be tripping. I want to say Dallas tried it twice.
Yeah, but even still, though, our special team stays ready.
They stay ready.
Stay ready, dog. Defense.
And
the
look,
one good game of the year. And the worst part is, you said it, and I want to bring, and this is my big takeaway about Kirk. What I saw this game. This is the first game of the year where I'll say Kirk looked scared out there. There were some moments where Kirk looked scared. Like he was like, I can't fuck up. I can't make a mistake. And what you doing? You fucking up. You making mistakes because you scared. That option paralysis is fucking you up. Like that double clutch, that was a bad throw. The pick six, another bad throw. And the worst part is, like, it was so bad. I'm a casual fan. I don't know the X's and O's like that. But as a fan watching, I was like, dog, you're a professional with 12 years in the league, coming off a bye week, 2 weeks to prepare for this game, and you do something like that, dog. It's unacceptable. Like, Kirk looked like he had the yips out there. And he was like, I can't fumble. Well, fine, I'll throw an interception then.
They hold the ball tighter.
Like, dog.
Hold the ball tighter. That's how you not fumble.
Looked bad. And then at the end of the game, he still fumbled the fucking ball. But it looked terrible. Kirk looked like a fossil out there. He looked like the game had passed him by. He looked like he was struggling on throws. He looked inaccurate. He just looked terrible. And now we got to take that and then go to next week in Minnesota. And granted, Minnesota's beatable. I don't see us beating them. I don't see us beating Washington. If I'm being honest, it will the way our offense look, we'll be lucky if we win 9 games this year. We're looking like we're gonna lose out. We're looking like we're about to go 6-11. That's what it's looking like. And we started off 6-3. Man, hey, I'm still on this season. I'm on the ride. I'm looking forward to. Hey, it's gotten to a point where, hey, if we keep losing, fine, that's fine. I'll keep watching. I'll start hate watching. I'll start, hey, can we get a better pick? And knowing Falcons, we'll win the games we need to lose. And we'll win enough to not make the playoffs, but not enough to get a good draft pick. That's how the Falcons do it. Like, the Bucs will fuck around and win out, and then we'll go like 9-8 and then miss the playoffs. That's Falcon football right there. That's how it's looking. And to be honest, like I said before, right before my rant, I'm getting to a place of apathy. I'm still going to watch, but I'm slowly stopping and giving it a fuck. And this is why I do it. As fans, we're tired of this. We didn't pay all that money for Kirk to play like Ritter, to play like Mariota. At this point, all I know is one thing for certain. We got at least one more year of him. At least one more year just because of the money set up. We got one more year of him.
Look, now I'm going to jump in. Because no. He got one more year on the roster. He does not have one more year guaranteed as the starter. All right, let me tell you something. The reason, this game could have gone a lot of different ways, and I would have been okay with the outcome, right? The reason why I'm so animated, the reason why I'm so upset, the reason why I am so livid is because the way it went was completely and utterly unacceptable, right? Let me tell you something, right?
Oh yeah.
So this team goes as the offense goes. You want to hear a stat? I got a stat for you. When this team scores 20 points or more, 6-0. When this team scores 20 points or less,
0-6.
0-6. Right? This team got to score points to win. I had made my peace. The issue is when the defense has a good game like they did today, defense giving up 9 points, defense blanked them. Defense made them look amateurish on offense in the second half. The defense that's the worst pass rush in the league had 5 sacks today. The defense that everybody, when I was saying, hey, I'm telling you, we're not the worst defense in the league, and everybody was saying, on Reddit and everything was saying, oh, it's the worst defense in the league. We got to like, no. That worst defense in the league gave up 9 points. Your worst defense in the league didn't give up a touchdown today. The worst defense in the league got 2 games this year. They didn't give up a touchdown. Guess how many of them games they won when they didn't give up a touchdown, Cam?
0.
None.
Well,
You see what I'm
one.
saying?
That one.
I'm
But
like,
even
so
still, though,
this
come
is an
on now.
offensive-driven team. This is a team that they don't give up touchdowns and still lose.
And it's such a Falcon way to lose, too.
It's
The
such a
one time-
Falcon way to lose.
the
I
one
think that's what's
time.
always irritating about being a Falcons fan. It's never that you lose. It's that you got to lose in a way that's so specific to your team. You got to lose in a way that's just completely and utterly unacceptable. I picked the Falcons to lose this game. I should not feel upset right now.
This shit's hilarious.
In fact, I said it almost everything about how I said it was going to go down. I said, hey, look, it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think we're going to lose. In fact, I originally said it was going to be 20-17. And then I said, nah, because we're going to have to go on a game-winning drive at the end, and we're going to blow it. I called it. If you don't believe me, go ahead and watch the last episode. I said that. I said we were going to have to go and win the game, and Kirk was going to throw a game-losing interception. I fucking said that. Why can't I be wrong? I want the luxury of being wrong. I want to feel negative and be wrong. Like I'm telling you, people think being right is good. Being right fucking sucks. Being right all the time sucks. I would much rather be wrong all the time because everything around me go better than I thought than to be right all the time because it's just as bad as I thought.
And you know the
In fact, actually, in this case, it was worse than I thought. The final drive went how I thought. I didn't think Kirk was going to throw 3 other inexcusable interceptions. I didn't think that. And so it makes me mad because that third one really sent me. So the play where he almost threw a pick, where he threw to a receiver with 3 white jerseys around, but we ended up getting a field goal out of it. That play turned me. But that pick at the end where I'm like, we could have got a field goal, but down 1 point, and guess what? Now you done got the ball back. And see, it's to me, the other thing that pissed me off about it was I think that was hero ball. I had to ask myself, I said, hey, why does a quarterback try to make a stupid throw like that, right? It's because he felt bad about that pick 6 he threw earlier. He trying to make a play now because he threw that pick 6. He feel like he costing the team. So now he's doing too much trying to make up for it. Now you throw another pick, you take points off the board again, and you lose at home to a team that had 6 days rest while you had 2 weeks. To a team that you shut them down on offense, you blanked them in the second half, you kept them out of the end zone. All you had to do was be a game manager of this game. You didn't have to be a hero of this game.
Exactly.
You didn't have to be.
The ball out of his hands. Zach and Raheem took the ball out of his hands. We said we're going to rely on Bijan in this game. That's what we're going to do.
All you had to do
I know
was
exactly
not be
what
a
it
hero.
is, too. I know exactly what it is. He threw that first one, and he said, I got to quit fucking up. Let me try to fix it. And every time he tried to fix a mistake, he kept compounding mistakes.
Exactly.
Instead of giving up on a play, now the game is lost. Sometimes you gotta take an L in the battle so you can win the war. And he didn't want to take an L in certain battles. And that's why he threw 4 interceptions. That's why he also fumbled. That's why he dropped the ball. That's why he almost accounted for 5 turnovers. Almost.
No, more than that. See, we see the fumble is because you count that one as that could have been somebody else. But those almost picks he threw, those count too. Yes, like if this was PFF, they would count that as a turnover-worthy throw. That was a throw that I'm like, yeah, that could have very easily. In fact, if he didn't get hit on that play, that was going to be a pick.
And like in this game, I can't blame coaching. Zach a little bit because some of the plays Zach called was like kind
in critical situations, yeah.
But at the end of the day, Zach, our defense, Raheem put us in a position to win the game, and Kirk did everything he could to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. Yeah. Snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. He did everything he could. He did everything possible. He looked worse than Ritter out there. It was a terrible game by him, and we are at the point of our season where I no longer have I can't rest on anything. Like that's the ironic part about this loss is that we have been riding the coattails of our offense throughout this entire season, and the one time our defense plays well, our offense shits the bed. And I can't even say our offense truly shit the bed Kirk shit to bed. Now, all I know is one thing for certain: Kirk gonna be on our team next year. It is what it is. Will he be our starter? Who knows? But he will be on our team this year. And this game makes me love the Penix pick even more because
Yeah.
because I know how the season's gonna play out. We're
Hey,
gonna
quick question, Cam. Quick question. Would a pass rusher have helped this game?
No, I mean
That wasn't the
it would,
problem in
but
this
not really.
game, right? It was the trigger man, right? Oh,
The
okay,
trigger man
okay.
would have helped, and that's what I'm saying, dog. We've gotten to a point where I can kind of already see the script. I kind of see how this season's gonna end. We're either gonna, it's leaning towards us losing out to the Bucks, us still going. The Bucks will go like 10-7, and we'll
Hold up now. They still got to play. They still got to win too. Now I'm not
and
gonna
then,
crown the Bucks yet.
and then we'll
I'm
go
not gonna
like
crown.
this is
Go
my prediction, and then we'll go like 9-8, and then miss the playoff by a spot because the NFC is like it's pretty deep. As it's not as top heavy as the AFC. It's if I'm keeping it in the stack, bro, like it's shaking up to like typical Falcons picking like 16th in the draft because we winning too many games, but also missing the playoffs. Like the fuck. But I think I've run it enough for today. I don't know about you. What else you got left for me, man?
Well, as you well know, this podcast called The Silver Lining, baby. So I had to tee off on them boys, but I got to go ahead and let you know what's real and why. As pissed as I am, as pissed as you are, it's not time to, burn down your house. All right. It's okay. All right. It's not the worst thing in the world. Now, like I said, I'm pissed. The thing I love about the podcast is, hey, you can't say I was just trying to stay positive for the sake of the podcast. All right.
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm serious. This is how I feel. Hey, this is a podcast for fans. All right. You if you pissed, I ain't gonna tell you not to be pissed. You damn right should be. I am too. But I believe we had an episode where we picked our predictions. We picked the Falcons to lose this game, both of us.
Well, I got losing next week too.
I had them losing next week too. Now, look, the Vikings. Look, these are the silver linings. The defense looked good, right? And they didn't just look good; they looked organized. They looked like they had a plan and executed that plan, right? Now, the Vikings. That's our next game. That's another team that can be had. The rest of our schedule is filled with teams that can be had. This game, when we went over this game, I said, hey, the Chargers are a team that can be had. Now, whether or not we gonna get them is always one thing, but these teams can be had. Look, the Vikings kind of mid on offense.
But that's
This is
been the
another
recurring
game.
trend.
It's another game that I think our defense can. Yeah, there's another game I think our defense can exploit them. I've never been a buyer of Sam Darnold. I know a lot of people like him, and now he's having this resurgence season. And honest to God, I'm happy for him. I really am, because I felt like, he got the shit trifecta of not being as great a quarterback as people think he is, but then he goes to a shit franchise, and so it'll make him look even worse. I remember Sam Darnold. I looked at him and all of the quarterbacks that year. I can't remember if we were looking at the quarterback or not, but I was just like, I ain't seeing it. I don't know what the fuck y'all looking at that's saying that this dude is first round pick. I ain't feeling that.
Me neither, dog. Just because he went to USC.
I think so, because I never felt that way about him. And I think it's starting to come back. He's coming back to earth. All right. This is a game that sucks, but it's a game that we predicted them to lose. We said on the last podcast, Falcons are going to be 6-6. Nothing has changed about either of our predictions going forward. All right. The other thing, too, is the way the defense played. And what has me excited is I think they saw a lot of things that they can build upon, that they can carry forward. Now, when we go play the Vikings they're gonna bring a lot more in the receiving department than do the Chargers. All right. But we saw this team, they said, hey, today, when we play man coverage, we get pressure. Like, in fact, just so you know now, Lad McConkey, both of his two biggest catches of the day, both of those came against zone. But when I could be wrong now, but I do believe all 5 of our sacks today came against man coverage. So we seeing that we can hold up in man coverage, and that attribute to us getting pressure. Because the Chargers do not have a shitty O-line. Chargers pretty strong, at least on the edges. Now, we did get pressure up the middle, but we got pressure off the edges, too. Katie had a sack today.
He showed it.
When Kentavious Street got a sack, his sack was on the edge. You know what I'm saying? So we getting that pressure, and I think we're gonna be able to exploit Minnesota. And really, I think the scariest part, like I said, is I don't know if we're gonna do that against everybody this year, but because other teams are gonna have the horses on the outside to maybe make man coverage a little bit more of a problem. But I think it's worth taking a look at. I think what we did today on defense is good enough to build upon and go forward, right? I think if we can play this kind of defense every game, we have now unlocked another kind of game we can win. I've always said that this team had to score to win. We 6-0 when we score 20 or more, 0-6 when we score 20 or less. But this was a game that we could have won, right? And so if the defense can be that consistent, I think the game against the Vikings is going to be another low-scoring game. I think that's a game we can win. Now, I ain't picking us to win that. Or maybe I did pick us to win. I can't remember. But I think I picked us to lose that game. And I think I picked us to win the last 4. I don't like us going on a 4-game win streak after a 4-game losing streak. But I did say that those are going to be tough games. I think we're going to lose those, and we're going to take it up because we're going to be able to expose a lot of the weaknesses of the other team. It's not all over. Also, Kirk Cousins typically does not have long periods of time where he plays like shit. 3 games in a row, he's played pretty bad. Longer stretch of his career, he's played like that. So ideally, I know Kirk's going to be motivated. I think he might be at least due. I don't lean on that kind of shit, but he's due for a good game. All right, he's due for a good game. We don't play outside. Not in like some serious cold weather. So we ain't got to worry about Kirk having to play Green Bay in Green Bay while he playing how he playing. You know what I'm saying? Right. We ain't got to worry about that. It's not, look, it's a fan podcast. We all hot. If y'all want to let some steam off, go ahead. It is not time to throw the baby out with the bathwater.
It's getting close. It's getting close.
I know. It's not time. Getting close. It's not time. Hey, look. If you take away how Kirk Cousins played today, tell me you wasn't proud of this team otherwise.
I was. That's the worst part about it.
I know. That's what I'm saying, though. Look. As a person who we just saw, I'm on the record shitting all over Kirk today. This is on the lower half of what you can expect from Kirk. This isn't even average Kirk Cousins. So I think, there's still hope to think that this will be the worst game he has this year and that he's going to probably play better. All right? So, not going to hold y'all. I know people upset today. Ain't nobody trying to hear 2 random guys on the fucking internet try to tell you that the Falcons still got a chance or whatever. But the Falcons do. Even if the Bucs, like, look, what we said on the Thanksgiving episode, I said, hey, I'm thankful that no matter how Sunday ends, the Falcons still in first place. Even if the Bucs win today, Falcons still in first place.
Hey, I got one thing to say, man.
Go ahead.
It's going to take us 10 wins to make the playoffs. Now, we're 6-6. That means we got to get 4 more wins. Does it happen? Who knows? In the prediction, I said we don't do it. But, hey, I'm looking forward to seeing how this shit shakes out, and I'm hoping to be wrong. Even you said it. Being right all the time sucks. I hope I'm wrong. I'm praying I'm wrong. Because after what I've seen, I don't see this team putting it together enough to do it. I see us choking, like we always do. But it's another week. Delusion might creep in come by Thursday. So, hey. But hey, if we go 6-7, like we go to Minnesota, and then 6-7, I ain't gonna lie, I'm damn near like it's over. Because then now
it could happen. Hey, that's what you called in your predictions, didn't you?
It is.
That's what I called, didn't
you? 9-8, and 9-8 not being good enough.
Yeah, 9-8 ain't gonna be good enough. We gotta win 10. But
we gotta win 10 because I see Tampa winning 10.
But look, I'm not going to lose hope until we lose one of the games that I think we supposed to lose. Now, I'll admit the way we lose is frustrating. That's why I'm so pissed off about this game. It's not that we lost that pissing me off. It's how we lost. But
That's
I
any
did
fucking
predict.
game. How we lose.
Yeah, that's really the folly of being a Falcons fan. It's never that your team lose. It's always how. You know, they got to lose in a way that you just felt
It's
like
never just straight up
you
lose.
hadn't
Like,
seen or
we
that you
swinging
weren't
at each
prepared.
other. It's never like this. Like we just swinging and he get the best shot. It's always we slipping on the fucking banana peel.
Yeah, we slipping and accidentally knock ourselves out.
Yes, that's how we lose. We beat ourselves, dog. I can take losing when they beat us. I can't
Yeah.
stand when we beat ourselves. And this was
And
I'm with my own ass kind of game.
look, we got a consistent history of doing that. So I won't sit here and tell anybody to be mad. Look, if you mad, if you pissed, if you don't want to watch no more Falcons games, if you ready to get off, if you don't want to watch this fucking podcast, whatever, I ain't mad at you. I 1,000,000% understand. As a fan for over 20 years, as a fan who's been here through ups, downs, and the ups turning into downs,
And then more downs.
and turning into worse downs, historical, I'm not mad at you. But I'm telling you, right, as a person who's been watching football for as long as I have, as a person who loves the game the way that I do, you got to look at all of these week to week, man. Whether your team win, whether your team lose, it's always one game at a time. Because next week, like if Kirk played the same game he played, but he just don't throw the picks. Hell, if he played the game he played today without the picks, if he played the game he played today without the pick six, he literally could have threw them same 3 picks. He could have threw 4 picks, just didn't get the pick 6. We probably still win this game.
Say, all right, before we head off, I don't know if you noticed, but I got the script for next week's game. Let me tell you how it's gonna play out. Kirk is gonna throw for like 400 yards. Offense is gonna cook. But our defense is gonna shit the bed, and we lose anyways. It's Falcon football, baby.
I'll say how I think that's gonna go for the game prediction next week, but we'll see. I ain't gonna lie. I do have a little apprehension about his former coach, offensive-minded head coach, going against him. All right. I don't like I don't like that part. But you know, I know y'all guys pissed, so I don't expect too many people to want to tune in right now. Just don't give them more energy than you need to give them. Calm down. Remember, it's only one game. Even if we have lost the last 3, know that we should have won this game if not for Kirk. So if Kirk pull himself up, it's a lot to look forward to. Anything else you want to say before we get out of here, Cam?
I think we said enough. This is a little reaction video. We almost pushing an hour, baby. I think that's
All right, baby. Well, look, I appreciate everybody who did tune in. If you was able to watch this and deal with all of that, because I know it takes a lot of emotional fortitude to even consume Falcon content after they lose. So I totally understand if you didn't watch us. Hey, I'm still your fan, even if you ain't tuned in. All right. So appreciate you so much. Please like, subscribe, comment, hit the little bell when you want to know some real niggas uploading. Peace.
Peace.